Hello and welcome to Sports Today. What a Sunday it was for sport. But it ended on a very sour note. All of us have celebrated the champions, but I will play that video. I will play that video for you. But it ended on a very sour note because the fans cannot behave as despicably as this. We will come to that. We will come to fan behavior. What does that mean for sport? What is the way forward? Why would you behave like this when your team has given you so much joy? All of that will be part of this show. But let's start the day, from the first final. The first final will obviously Leo Messi. The final did not sort of rise to great expectations. If you compare it to the Euro final, the intensity and the pace of the Euro final was almost sort of frenetic. Compared to that, the Copa final, maybe because European football has stolen a bit of a march also from on Latin America to a degree. It was a good final. It was a good final, but obviously not one of those great games. Leo Messi finally making it to the history books, and aren't we delighted? Aren't we delighted for Leo Messi? Would he go on to make a difference in Qatar? Would he go on to win a World Cup? Tough. With this Argentinian side, it will definitely be. I mean, from any side for Latin America at this point in time to beat the Europeans will be difficult in Qatar, but who knows? I mean, you've broken that jinx of winning a world trophy, and this will mean the world to him. Multiple Ballon d'Ors, multiple Champions League titles, multiple La Liga titles, but nothing will come close to winning a title for your country. So that way, it is a massive moment of dream come true for Leo Messi and every Argentinian fan. And aren't we delighted? Yesterday also I mentioned this, that hug between Neymar and Messi stood out because that was a spectacular moment of sporting camaraderie. The two greats of contemporary football in a rare show of respect, and tremendous gesture. It was excellent to see. It was excellent. That's what you play sport for. When you sort of contrast that with the kind of abominable fan behavior post the England-Italy game, you just feel so angry, so deeply frustrated. And why would you do this to sport? When you've gotten a chance to watch your country play, they have made the final of a Premier Championship, they've come as close. Why would you do that to sport? Thankfully, nothing like that happened in the Brazil-Argentina game. Because the Brazilian fans, they did not do any such thing in Brazil because no newspaper report or media report has come that shows anything like that. You will want to take a look at that video. You will want to take a look at that video because you have to relate to what I'm talking about. And that's what I want to focus on. Why would you do this kind of behavior? Why? And you must take. Trisha, why don't you play that video? It will help me analyze better before I go to Novak. Play that video, please.
Oh, look! Look how much they bring them.
Honestly, when I see scenes like this, my blood starts to boil. You as fans, you cannot do this to sport. England fans had absolutely no business doing this to Italian fans after the game. It was a closely contested 120-minute encounter with no side coming out on top. Nobody was disgraced. England fought in the very end. I mean, even the last kick, Jordan Pickford saved it, and when Saka missed it, it was a close match. It was a close match. which went right to the very last kick of the penalty shootout, and then you behave like this. Frankly, your players have given your country a lot of joy. You've given your fans a lot of joy, and then if it ends like this is absolutely pathetic. We did not see any of this from Brazil. We did not see any of this after the match ended at the Maracanã in favor of Argentina, and this is quite disgusting. So if you lose, uh, think about the World Cup final in cricket. None of the New Zealand fans did this. Not a single New Zealand fan behaved like a barbarian, an absolute brute. Why would you do it? Why would the English do it? I mean, this is something that has to be stopped. I mean, the number of security was clearly inadequate. These are COVID times. If you behave like this, you are clearly doing things that will further provoke the spread of infection. This is what sport needs to avoid. This is what thing needs to be avoided. From my own experience, I can tell you these are things that I've experienced this after the Champions Trophy final in 2017 when India lost to Pakistan. Yes, there was that hostile campaign, Mocha Mocha, and all of that. And the moment we came out, they started breaking bottles, glass bottles, outside of the oval and throwing the glass at us. Come on. I mean, whether it is an Indian fan, whether it is a Pakistani fan, you can't do this. You just can't do this. I mean, this kind of behavior from the English starting to kick the Italians and, beat them up, this is just unbelievably horrible in the annals of sport. And this is where I think the administrators of the game, security, local organizers, everyone needs to take this matter very seriously. I remember this game which I had watched, Manchester Derby, Manchester City versus Manchester United, 4-3. After the match, the moment the whole stream of fans came out of Old Trafford, they just attacked the pubs. I had been there to watch it, and it was scary. I mean, people were just randomly beating each other up, throwing bottles at each other, hurling abuse. Yesterday, 13.1 million pints of beer was supposed to be sold in London. So you can easily imagine the level of inebriation. You can easily imagine the level of sort of alcoholism that there existed in London and around that stadium yesterday, around Wembley. And that partly explains this kind of behavior. We talk about racial abuse. What is this but? It's similar. It's worse. It is physical abuse. In Australia, we've seen this in the MCG, for example. People scream wanker, wanker. It is unbelievable. I mean, this is what Michael Holding keeps talking about. He talks about Black Lives Matter. This is physical abuse, one of the worst viruses in human history, where human beings take pleasure in attacking another human being. It's a kind of a weird sense of power. My team has won, so I will attack you, the vulnerable, because you are in a minority in terms of numbers, and I will beat you up. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. This is what one should protest against. Outrageous behavior around the world. And UEFA, FIFA, everybody, every organizational, institutional body should condemn such behavior. That's what, according to me, left me with a very foul taste in my mouth after what was a great Sunday of sport. Going back to the Maracanã, as I said, for Leo Messi, it was a moment come true, and his reaction after the match was so pleasing. Does it make him come close to Diego? No, it doesn't. Ultimately, you have to win a World Cup. That's what Maradona did in 1986. But it does make him the great that he is. It sort of fulfills the career. It does. Pele and Maradona, because of the fact that they won World Cups, they will still be up there at the top. You've not won a World Cup yet. You won a South American championship. In the case of Ronaldo, you won an European championship. So you need to win the greatest prize on earth to come close to maybe Pele or Maradona. But there's no debate that Leo Messi deserved it and is a GOAT, one of the greatest of all time, comes right up there, close to the two gentlemen I've just mentioned. But the fellow who actually is perhaps the greatest of all time, and deservedly so, is Novak Djokovic. Novak Djokovic, Novak Djokovic, 20 titles. 20 Grand Slam titles, and given his physicality, Novak Djokovic will arguably be perhaps the one who ends up winning the maximum number of Grand Slams and go down in history as the greatest of all time. No question. Winning the French Open in the manner that he did, beating Rafa Nadal in what is his home turf almost, and then coming to SW19 within 14 days, winning Wimbledon, beating the very best. I mean, look at that match against Matteo Berrettini. Berrettini started very well, his first serve firing, that boom boom serve firing, and his ground strokes, the forehand also sort of making serious dent on Djokovic. Djokovic did not find his groove as early in the game. 7-6 Berrettini. From the second set onwards, Novak Djokovic started coming back. And if you see every set, that decisive break. And in the final set, he was in complete control. Every time. I mean, if you see, he pushed Berrettini back, created space in the court, and then those winners that he was playing. And the kind of physicality of that man, I don't find another single athlete in our planet who comes close to this man in terms of athletic ability, physicality, and mental willpower. When he sort of eats that grass at the end of it, and he does that, he did so in 2019 after he beat Roger Federer at Wimbledon. It's an incredible moment. I mean, this fellow, to win big points, to win big matches, coming back from situations where you are perhaps down, to be able to do that is an incredible quality from Novak Djokovic. And that is why the Golden Slam is alive. He will probably go into Tokyo as the favorite. The Golden Slam dream is very much alive. He will probably go into US Open again as the favorite. I mean, unbelievable talent, unbelievable hard work, resilience, all of it coming together in the form of Novak Djokovic. Think of the quarter, semi and final. 7-6, 7-5, 7-5 in the semis, 4-set in the final. Tremendous act, tremendous. I mean, the more I think of him and the way his career has panned out, wow, man. 2020. And think of the other 8 champions who have actually won a major over the last, 17 years? 60 majors going to 3 people. Roger Federer, Rafa Nadal, and Novak Djokovic. 60 majors between them. Stan Wawrinka, Andy Murray, Alessandro, Del Potro, one each here. There. Imagine how tough it must have been for these guys. How difficult to play in this era of these 3 great champions and win a major. How tough it must have been for these guys. When you think of sport and you think of opponents like this, Edwin Moses, 10 years did not lose a single 400-meter hurdles. Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal, you know that between the 3 of them, they will win the major. And you are also playing in that same era. How tough it must have been for him. And that's the other aspect I want to focus on. Think of coming back to so now that we've celebrated Novak Djokovic, coming back to the Euro final. When Saka walked up to sort of take that penalty, firstly you got Marcus Rashford and Jadon Sancho in for the penalty shootout. They are your preferred penalty takers. Marcus Rashford has taken many a penalty in the last 2 years. We know he takes good penalties. England won up already, and in the first one saved. And there that Marcus Rashford shot, hitting the post. Donnarumma actually went the other way in the very last moment. And then Jadon Sancho. And when Jordan Pickford saved that last one, England had an opportunity. A 19-year-old Saka walks up to take that penalty. A 19-year-old. I mean, England and football as it is pressure. Finals of the European Championship in front of a hostile crowd at the Wembley is pressure. The color of your skin is pressure. And here is the 19-year-old man entrusted with the responsibility of keeping England in that contest. I was shuddering to think the amount of pressure Saka must have been under. How long will this haunt him? How long will he replay that one penalty shot in his mind, Saka? These are things you guys should think about on Sports Today when we talk about these kind of games. What a great moment for Italy. Roberto Mancini's side, think about it. 2018 did not qualify for the Football World Cup. Mancini comes, takes charge, and says we can win it. We can win the Euros. And there comes Roberto Mancini, now 32 matches unbeaten, not a single loss since September of 2018. The goalkeeper has not conceded more than one goal in the last 20-30 games, has kept clean sheet worth 1,000 plus minutes, conceded an early goal even before the Italians had gotten into shape in the form of Luke Shaw. If you have seen the contest, you will know what I'm talking about. Italy conceded that goal within the second minute. Trippier's cross, Luke Shaw sort of smarts it in. Italy hadn't really gotten into groove. Thereafter, in the second half, it was a matter of time before they equalized. The constant pressure that they were putting on the English backline, Harry Maguire, John Stones, Trippier, and Kyle Walker. No joke it was. It was a matter of time. Jordan Pickford saved a couple of times, some excellent saves that Leonardo Bonucci sort of pushed it home. So it was justifiably Italy. But thereafter, I thought they lost a bit of steam. I thought the Italians would press harder. Chiesa, when he went out, I thought he was outstanding with his speed, outstanding with his skill. I mean, unbelievable threat for the English defense. So that's what you think of. But for England, nonetheless, I mean, the Italians, it's a fairy tale. 2018 World Cup, not to qualify for the World Cup and thereafter to come back. Roberto Mancini taking over the mantle of the Italian side to come back and thereafter win the Euros 2 years later, 3 because of COVID, has been a sensational fairy tale for this Italian side. Tremendous. And they've not lost a football match in the last 32 encounters, for God's sake. Wow, man. Wow. The goalkeeper was special. I mean, obviously he's a big man. His anticipation was special. That shot of Sancho and then the last one of Saka. But Italians deserve it. The English too deserve it. If you really go down and see the way the English fought, they kept staving the Italians off. There was a degree of inevitability to the penalty shootout when the extra time actually started. Did any of us think that there will be a goal? Very freakish chance. Very. Because it was almost inevitable that the two teams will push it to extra time. 120 minutes of intensity at the Wembley. Both teams coming close, incredibly hard fought encounter. There had to be a winner, and then the fans disgraced themselves like this. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. The last point that I want to talk about today on Sports Today is the Indian win. The Indian girls, again, showing incredible amount of fight to keep the series alive. The overall, because the total number of points in the series is now 8-6. Cumulatively, the series is alive. That's what is most important. And think of the contest. Shafali Verma, absolute gem of a talent. 5-4s of Catherine Brandt. Catherine Brandt had got her the other night. And yesterday, the 5-4s, India was 47-48 in 4 overs. 47-48 in 4 overs. What a start. You would have imagined the team to go to 160 after that start by Shafali Verma and Shriti Mandana. Shafali Verma was just special. Then at number 3, Harmanpreet Kaur promotes herself. At one point in time, 2 of 9 balls from Harman, 2 of 9 balls from Deepti. Then that shot came. That shot which fetched Harmanpreet Kaur her first 6. And you could see in the reaction that 6 meant the world to her. It was a release shot. Then that back foot, cut to get her another 4. To get her another 4 of Sophie Glenn, and Harmanpreet Kaur was on the way. Then that mid-wicket swat, almost 31 of 25 she finished off. So effectively, she got her last 30-odd runs in 17-18 balls. Exactly the Harmanpreet Kaur that we want to see. The flourish did not come from Deepti and Sneh. Sneh finished off with that boundary, but India got to a reasonable Sarah Glenn, that outside off shot which Harmanpreet cut for 4. And also was interesting to see India played Sophie Eccleston well yesterday. First over 11 runs. Sophie Eccleston has been the best bowler for England right through the season. So that's the last flourish that I was talking about did not come. We ended up with a reasonable 150. I thought we were 10-15 short, especially against a batting lineup as good as the English. We were 10-15 short. Early wicket, Danny Wyatt, Arundhati Reddy. Arundhati Reddy hopefully will get the no balls together, that act together. Conceding more than one free hit in a white ball format is quite bad. And that's what she needs to get back, And she's not a rookie anymore. She's been around with this team. Arundhati Reddy can bowl at a decent enough pace, can field well. She fields at deep cover, good throws. So she just needs. Yeah, so the point that I was trying to make, as far as Arundhati Reddy is concerned, she's been around for a while now. She's been around for a while now. It's important that Arundhati Reddy gets back into groove and doesn't bowl those free hits. That early wicket of Daniel Wire, Tammy Beaumont was looking special again. Another 50. She has been the wicket to take for India. But I thought the real turning point was Heather Knight. That Heather Knight dismissal, Deepti Sharma dives behind Heather Knight, ball ricochets, lobs like this and hits the wicket. That for me, 106, immediately after that Beaumont wicket from Deepti Sharma, that for me was the turning point. Thereafter the Indians pressed the squeeze, excellent intensity on the field, excellent from Radha Yadav, excellent intensity on the field, getting India back, giving that opportunity. Poonam picks one, good catch by Sneh, and it was an outstanding win under pressure to be able to close out that match from the Indian girls, keeping the series alive. And it will mean a lot to Harmanpreet Kaur because she has contributed. I was actually hoping Harmanpreet Kaur would come back and bowl an over, because on a day you bat well, you bat like that, you must bowl an over because you've already got that confidence. I was hoping she will. Anyway, it was a really good win, very pleasing win for the Indian women to keep the series alive and take it into the decider. Sneh Rana proving very useful again. Deepti Sharma, excellent spell under pressure towards the fag end of the English innings. All said and done, excellent outing for the Indian girls after scoring a modest 148. If this intensity continues, we do have a chance going forward. Minor tweaks. I want to make this point about Richa Ghosh before I forget. From what we've seen of Richa Ghosh, her wicket keeping has improved, and the range of shots that she has, there is a definite case of playing Richa Ghosh in the 50-over format as well, ahead of Tanya Bhatia, because Tanya Bhatia is unidimensional in her batting. Richa Ghosh, you've got to give the youngster an opportunity in the 50-over contest as well. She has the shots, she has the ability, Richa Ghosh, to clear. So towards the end of the innings, coming on as finisher, she can hit those big shots. The final point, after the first match of the ODI series, everybody was starting to say Mithali Raj should be dropped. Within a couple of games, Mithali Raj was the greatest of all time, GOAT, the best ever, etc. Everybody was baying for Harmanpreet Kaur's blood. Oh, Harmanpreet Kaur is all done. What has she done since then? You've got to wait. Now, hopefully, if India wins the last game and if Harmanpreet Kaur does well, it will become Harmanpreet Kaur is one of the greatest that we have, etc. That is the lack of balance that I keep talking about on sports today. We have to exercise that balance in our judgment. We have to be sensitive. We have to be balanced in our criticism. Of course, you criticize, constructively criticize, but you've got to be balanced as well. I will finish off on the show there, once again with a cautionary note for the fans. What the English fans did is now a template for what should not be done in the annals of global sport. After what was a fantastic European Championship in your home soil, you disgraced your country with that despicable behavior of yours. Not befitting of any sports fan. To beat up the Italians because they were in a minority was such a horrible sight to see. And that we must condemn around the world as sports fans. That's what I have for you on Sports Today. A special coming up tomorrow. Watch out this space. A special coming up tomorrow. We will shift focus once again to the Olympics soon, because it's the countdown has started. The countdown for the Olympic Games has started. The Prime Minister interacting with the Indian squad today. The Indians leave on the 17th in an Air India chartered flight. So all of the countdown has started. Every update you will get on Sports Today. For the moment, thank you very much for watching.